So I think it's time to finally, end the argument. End the argument that there is any sort of like other needle mover that is even remotely close to Caitlyn Clark in the WNBA. And again, the reason why we've got Hailey Van Lith up is because it was Hailey Van Lith's return as well as Angel Reese's return. Angel was not the only person. They had two players returning. However, right now in Carver, there are no tickets left for under $200. I'm actually looking. There are tickets now in the bleacher, not the bleachers, in the very, very back seats, in the nosebleeds, for about $200. There were $400 a couple of days ago, but since Caitlyn Clark it's been announced Caitlyn Clark's been injured, even though she's probably going to play that game, people have been selling a few of their tickets. So Carver is completely sold out. This is what the arena looked like last night to watch LSU. They didn't open the upper bowl. They did not open the upper bowl, and the lower bowl was half empty. It was at under 50% capacity. And obviously, look, the area of the crowd where the TV cameras are being shown was full. But it was under 50% capacity. There's no one in the upper bowl, and it's half empty the other one, which is not ideal. But I think we can finally just say it. It's like when everyone complained, about the Washington Mystics not moving Angel Reese's game to Baltimore so she can go back and play in her hometown. People are furious about that they only moved the Fever games to there. But I have to say, this is to be expected. This is to be expected because, again, we saw Sky, as far as home games, not get the greatest coverage or not have to sell the most tickets. The needle is Caitlyn Clark, and you can add realistically whatever you want. You can add Hailey Van Lith, who is a huge name. Say what you want about Hailey Van Lith, she is an absolutely massive name as far as the WNBA is concerned. So you can add her to the Chicago Sky, and it's still, and her going back to LSU, albeit Hailey Van Lith played 1 year at LSU and she was terrible, and it's going to be empty. It is going to be literally empty. So that is we can finally stop. I think we can finally stop the arguments. We can stop the whole there's more than one needle mover as far as attendance goes as an individual. I do think there are teams that people show up to watch. I think the Aces do a pretty decent job. I think the Liberty, in fairness to them, do a pretty decent job. But when we're talking about individuals, there's only one that people are going to go out and watch. And it's not Hailey Van Lith, and it's most definitely not Angel Reese. Because nothing has changed with the addition of Hailey Van Lith. And in fairness, Hailey Van Lith I thought was good, really good last night. Angel was fantastic last night. Again, just like I'm gonna take more out of today's preseason game for the Fever than I will from tomorrow's, because let's be real, they're playing the Brazil national team. I don't really care. I don't really care. If they beat the Brazil national team, to be honest. But yeah, that's why I'm making this video, because at the end of the day, we're still seeing all of this stuff online about, there's so many needle movers, Caitlyn Clark is not the needle. But then you look at, I saw the post from Ken Swift, and I think he was on the money. He was on the money. I have no issue with L. Duncan responding to him, but he was on the money that the old legacy media have been talking about Caitlyn Clark fans sucking the life out of WNBA, but they can't post a clip without the name Caitlyn Clark. And it's just a fact. It is just a fact. And it's not, again, this is not saying that none of these players are draws, because they are to an extent. like Angel Reese, Hailey Van Lith, these type of players playing together, Camila Cardoso playing against the Brazil national team, I would be confident that they could fill out a 6,000-seater stadium. I would also be confident that if they played the game at the football stadium with 50,000 seaters in Iowa and the tickets were $50, Iowa would fill out 50,000 seaters, a 50,000 seater stadium. And like LSU had about 6,000 people at a game where tickets were $20 on resale. So, look, it is what it is. It is what it is. And does it make any sort of difference? No. Did the Chicago Sky, I mean, look, they played the Brazil national team. We'll see how they look in their next preseason game. I mean, the Sky have looked okay. The Sky did look okay. Their starters look good. The 12 players that are going to make the roster all looked okay. Like, even on the bench, when they went to the bench, it looked like there was a level, like, not the bench, the reserves. There was a level difference between Westbeld and Van Lith and the rest. So, like, they looked all right. But doesn't change the fact that it was empty. It was empty. There were 6,000 people there. And the arena holds 14,000. Like, it got less viewers than most LSU home games. Like, less people watched that than most LSU home games. And it was the homecoming game of arguably the best player for the Chicago Sky. We'll see during the season, because obviously Atkins is Atkins. But, like, it's just aged bad. The whole people watch for Me Too argument is aged bad. And that's an argument that I'm like, okay, yeah, it makes not entirely false, but like there are levels. There are levels. And it genuinely does seem like a lot of the Angel fans are fans of Angel as a celebrity rather than like they're not even watching the games. Whatever about putting their money where their mouth is and going to the games, they're not even watching the games. Fans are traveling from all over the world to watch the Fever. And it just sums it all up. It does just sum it all up. Like, there should be no comparison in impact with anyone not named Caitlyn Clark, because we saw in Notre Dame that Arike going back and Paige playing, and it was, I think, the second least attended Notre Dame game in Notre Dame for women's basketball all year. So the Notre Dame team, obviously, it gets more people. But it was like 2,000 empty seats. I think they had like 7,000. And that was Arike's return, who's one of the greats. One of the greats of Notre Dame, and Paige Bueckers' first game. But yet, like, I can guarantee you, even with Caitlyn Clark not playing in this game tomorrow, there are still going to be 12 or 15,000 people minimum. Maybe 2,000 people will miss. There's still going to be 15,000 people minimum at this game. And that is not only just with Caitlyn Clark, what the Caitlyn Clark effect has done for the Fever. And I could be wrong. If the game is half empty today, then it is just about Caitlyn Clark. But I just think the Caitlyn Clark effect has done a real good job of helping out the Fever as well. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.